we decided to give the Polymer 80 PFC9 a chance at redemption after it failed in our first test. Let's see what happened. Hi, welcome back to LocaCarnivore. We're so glad you could join us for this video. As always, I'm your host, Nigel, the slightly better than average ninja, and I'm going to walk you through our second test of the Polymer 80 PFC9 semi-automatic 9mm pistol. You may recall that we did a video previously, and you can, we'll show you the link to that video at the end of this video, and you can go watch that. We took it out and decided to run it through its paces. We had just gotten it and wanted to see if it was going to be as good as the Glock 19 that it is a clone of and attempts to be as good as, if not better than, for a lot less money. And before we get into the main discussion here, do remember the only support we get from you folks is through Patreon. So if you wouldn't mind, go to the link in the description down below, visit us at Patreon. Nifty stuff for you to find out, to see and get, some nice rewards for supporting us, and again, we'd appreciate it. And a reminder, of course, please subscribe to our video, our channel. We would love to have you as a subscriber, and you can support us that way. And don't forget to like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and remember to hit that little bell so you'll be notified anytime we get new videos out, and you'll be one of the first ones to get those. And as always, go down in the comments section, tear it up in there, be nice, be civil, but we'd love to hear from you, what you think, what you don't think. And so that's the pitch for that. And just a reminder, this gun, we don't get T&E guns. We don't get what's called test and evaluation guns in the industry. And those are guns that are sent out by the manufacturers to celebrities, influencers on the interweb, you know who all they are, and other people, gun writers, etc., to look the gun over. If you think about it though, supposedly there's no strings attached to those T&E guns, but if you think about it, when was the last time you saw a very poor review, a review on a T&E gun that didn't work out well? It's very seldom. So that's just something, food for thought. We don't get T&E guns. So just a quick reminder, the PFC9 is a double stack, and it's of course unloaded. Completely inert, completely safe. But it's polymer frame. It's all produced by Polymer 80, which used to produce just 80% components, and then you'd finish them at home. They decided for a variety of reasons to make their own gun, and this is their attempt at it. The first video goes into more detail about Polymer 80 and the history of this pistol. To suffice it to say, there were some things we liked about it. There was a lot of things we didn't like about it. So the second video here we took the gun out to the range, different weather conditions. You'll notice though that the range footage was shot during the winter when it's colder and wetter, and we don't have high fire danger in the area because we certainly want to be very responsible here at the sprawling LocaCarnivore headquarters. We don't want to cause any problems for us or our neighbors, and just to be responsible that way. So there's going to be a little disconnect there, but bear with that. And you'll notice that we're not on the range, so you're not going to have to bear with gunfire, as Paul Harrell likes to say. We like Paul's videos, by the way. And no, he didn't ask us to say that. We just simply like Paul. And a lot of the other guys out there that are doing really good quality stuff. So basically, like I said, the Polymer 80 is double stack 9mm. It tries to pretend it's a substitute for a Glock 19, that it's essentially as good, possibly even better. And there are a few things about the Polymer 80 that we did like a little bit better than the Glock 19. We like the trigger guard configuration. It really gets your hand up high here. We like the grip as a general rule, things of that nature. But you'll see in that first video the things we didn't like. We decided to give it another chance though, because it was very cold when we went out on that first video. It was quite cold. And we thought, well, maybe that just kind of slowed down the lubrication in it, and it just tightened everything up at the polymer. It wasn't at its best opportunity. So we waited for a somewhat warmer day. Instead of it being, well, it was about 10 degrees out the first day, it was 45, something like that, Fahrenheit, the second time we took it out and shot it, and hoping that would help. We also changed ammo brands and tried different ammunition. And as you'll see in the range footage, it really didn't make too much difference, but you'll have to see that for yourself. Welcome to LocaCarnivore, and we are doing a second test on the Polymer 80 PFC9 9mm handgun. It's mid-size. It is analogous to and basically a clone of a Glock 19. We are doing this second test because the first test was less than satisfactory, so we thought we'd try it under different conditions. This is a safe weapon, as you can see, no magazine. The last time we were on our first test, we used Federal 124 grain full metal jacket, Federal American Eagle, and that had one failure to fire. We didn't diagnose it, unfortunately, so we don't know if it was the gun or the ammunition. So today we are going to use CCI Blazer, which is also owned by Federal's parent company, but it is a different brand and manufactured differently. And this is, again, 124 grain full metal jacket. And we're going to see if this ammunition works a little bit better. The test conditions are also different today. When we did our first test, it was quite cold. It was about 10-15 degrees Fahrenheit. Today it's right around 40 to 45 with a light breeze and some sun. So this also has the factory lubrication in it. We did not take it apart. We did not lubricate it. Our personal opinion is that that all combat type handguns, fighting handguns, should be able to work right out of the box. So you shouldn't have to do anything to them. You should just be able to load them and go if you had to. So that's the way we test. So we're at the 7-yard line to shoot at our target. We are using the Polymer 80 magazine, and same situation as the first test. We had our the Polymer 80 magazine will not allow all 15 rounds to be loaded. We even tried a loading tool on this thing, and no matter how much you cuss at it, you can only get 14 rounds in it. So we also brought along a Glock 19 mag, G19 mag. For comparison, it has all 15 rounds. This is, again, the Blazer, CCI Blazer 124 grain full metal jacket. We're going to see how this performs in the Polymer 80 PFC9. Okay, as you can see on our target from the 7-yard line, the Blazer 124 grain full metal jacket did a lot better than that Federal American Eagle. Don't know if it's the ammo or if this gun just likes it, but it's a much tighter group than the other group. Before, it was way out here. We had about well, at best 9-10 inch group, and that was slow fire, deliberate, offhand, no rest. And that is quite adequate. It pulls a little down to the left. However, I was using a 6 o'clock hold right there, so it's shooting basically point to aim. So we're going to cut this and move back and then fire another mag of Glock. This time we're going to try some multi-shot strings and some defensive type shooting and instinctive point and see how it works out. All right, now we're going to shoot 15 rounds of the Blazer 124 grain full metal jacket out of the Glock magazine. So this time we'll get a full 15 rounds. And we're going to do a little more defensive type double string. And stovepipe. That's a backwards. That's interesting because the ejection has been very lackadaisical on this gun from the get-go, and now it's actually reversed the casing completely, which means it tried to eject it. It flipped up and then didn't quite make it out of the ejection port before the slide went forward, and now we have a complete jam. It also stripped one round out. Clear that jam. Let's see what we can do here. All right, chambered battery. Okay, we're on the target after that defensive strings, double taps, and triples. And as you can see, the group widened out quite a bit. You'd sort of expect that. However, from a practical standpoint, the accuracy is suitable for close range defensive work. It's not the best. And of course, Nigel, our slightly better than average ninja, may not be the best shooter every day of the week, so this might have been an off day for him. But you can see Nigel kept most everything about center of mass, which isn't bad. However, we had that one severe malfunction with the hung up case, and we're a little concerned about that. But the accuracy is not bad. It's about on par with the same type of shooting we did with the Federal American Eagle on the last test. Okay, now to conclude our second test of the Polymer 80 PFC9, which is the Glock 19 clone from Polymer 80. We weren't very impressed with this pistol at all. The accuracy is significantly less than what we generally get out of a Glock 19, the ones we've tested in the past. We'll also put some tests up for that eventually so you can compare them. But the gun has had two significant malfunctions in two different tests. The first was a failure to fire in test number 1. Cause unknown, but we suspect a light primer strike of some sort, because we've never had any problem in any other gun with Federal American Eagle ammunition for decades. We've shot, I don't know how many thousands of rounds of that stuff. It's never been a problem. And then on the second test, as you just saw, we had that complete reversal of the shell case into the ejection port, which completely hung it up. It wasn't even just a straightforward stovepipe, and it had also tried to double feed the round on top of the stacks. So that would have been a difficult jam. It would have been a significant clearance drill to get that out of there. So it would have been a significant downtime for the gun. You would have either been better off going to a secondary weapon, or definitely getting under cover to clear the jam. If you had no opportunity for either, you would probably lose the gunfight to your detriment. You don't want to take the room temperature challenge when you're in a gunfight. So LocaCarnivore's overall opinion of the PFC9 by Polymer 80 is it is definitely not a gun to trust your life to. If you want it as a range toy, that's fine. The other problem we found with it is it does not fit in any Glock 19 holster that we have, and we have probably 6 or 7 different holsters on site that we tested in, and it does not work in any of those holsters, mainly because of the trigger guard configuration. Front end here, it just doesn't work. So you'd have to get your own unique Polymer 80 holsters if you're already a Glock person. So this is not a good Glock substitute, and quite frankly, when you try to build something that's good, but for a lot less money, somewhere there's compromises that are made. Apparently Polymer 80 made compromises on the PFC9. Thanks for watching. Remember, you do need to support us on Patreon if you want to continue to see our content. That's the only means we have for support right now. We would really appreciate your support. So go over to our Patreon right now and help support us and find out all the nice swag and other things, special offers we have for you over there. Thank you again, and remember, come see us again at LocaCarnivore.